Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Let me begin by expressing my sense of gratitude to all of you for spending your precious time on a Saturday and a weekend afternoon with us here in Hakbang ng Marisog. I know you should be doing your siestas, running your personal errands, or doing some personal household stuff or chores, and to some probably Saturdays, Sundays, weekends usually are best spent doing your apostolic duty. But nonetheless, you're here, and I guess that is a very resounding response to the question early on during the opening as to why are you here? You being here today, this Saturday afternoon, is very meaningful because we in Hakbang ng Marisog, we go around the country, we visit Filipino communities abroad para dalhin sa kanila yung tunay na nangyayari sa ating bansa. And this afternoon, what we hope to achieve, what I hope to achieve personally, ay pagkatapos ng ating pag-harap ngayong hapon, magkaisa tayo, makiisa kayo, stand up, be heard, speak up, and be counted, at magdeklara tayo ng gera laban sa korupsyon. Let us be united and let's declare war against the continuing rape of our public coffers. Magdeklara tayo ng gera, magdeklara tayo ng digmaan laban sa walang humpay at patuloy na panggagahasa sa kaban ng bayan sa pera nating mga Pilipino. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what Hakbang ng Marisog is all about. Ang Hakbang ng Marisog is a social movement that's calling for transparency, accountability, peace and security, government and governance. Let me begin with transparency and accountability. Napahapyawan na kanina ni Attorney Trixie yung tungkol sa mga maling or misplaced public investments. And let me begin with the 5.7 trillion pesos 2024 budget. 5.27 trillion pesos ang budget natin ngayon sa Pilipinas. Ito ang perang inilaan ng gobyerno upang patakbuhin ang pamahalaan upang ibigay yung mga pamunahing pangangailangan ng ating mga mamamayan. Subalit, ano ba ang katotohanan? Madilim, malungkot, masaklap. Of the 5.7 trillion pesos, at least 800 billion pesos. 800 billion pesos, some say, it can go as high as 1.2 trillion pesos. Ito ang inilagak nila doon sa kilalang unprogrammed appropriation. Ano naman yung unprogrammed appropriation? To simplify, para sa milyon-milyong Pilipinong nakikinig ngayon at nanonood sa social media platforms ang iba't ibang vloggers na naririto ngayon, na nais ko rin kayong kilalanin at pasalamatan. 800 to 1.2 trillion unprogrammed appropriation or simply pork barrel ng mga legislators, ng mga mambabatas, pork barrel pati ng Office of the President. Nasaan yung 800 billion to 1.2 trillion pesos niyan? Dapat natin silang panagutin. At hindi po nakakalayo yung July 23, if I'm not mistaken, that's the date, nung naghahatid ng State of the Nation address, si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. Kanyang ibinida, full of conviction, na meron na raw sila in 2 years lamang ng kanyang panunungkulan, 5,500 flood management programs ang naipatupad. Lagyan natin ng halaga in relation to 800 billion to 1.2 trillion pesos na napupunta doon sa port barrel funds. Yung 5,500 flood control programs, ang katumbas po niyan sa piso ay 500 billion pesos higit kumulang. Nasaan yung 500 billion pesos higit kumulang na ibinibidang, na ilagay na raw, na ipatupad, at naririyan na at hindi na tayo makakaranas ng baha? Dumating ang bagyong Karina na sinabayan ng habagat. Alam naman ninyong lahat ang nangyari sa malaking bahagi ng Luzon, higit pa sa Metro Manila. At nababanggit din yung kinatawan kanina ng Marikina City na nakatanggap partly ng 3 billion pesos worth of infrastructure projects. Bakit bahang-baha pa rin sa Marikina? Nandiyan rin, kamakailan lamang, binisita na naman tayo ni Bagyong Enteng, sinabayan muli ng habagat. Anong nangyari? Same old situation noong Karina. Nasaan yung 500 billion pesos na pera ng mga Pilipino? Dapat natin silang panagutin. In fact, dapat natin silang hingin. Hingan natin sila na ilathala ang listahan ng 5,500 flood control projects na sinasabing na naipatupad na. Saan-saan linagay yung 5,500 flood control projects? Sino-sino mang babatas, maging senador, maging kongresista, saang distrito ito ibinigay? Sino-sinong binigyan?
Wala.
At higit sa lahat,
Nangyari lang yun sa
magkakang halaga ang binigay kada kongresista, kada senador, kada flood control project. Yung tungkol po sa budget pa rin. This year alone, I believe, mahigit 500 billion pesos na rin ang kanilang ginugugol sa ayuda. Hindi tayo magsusurvive kung gagawin tayo ayuda nation. Ang ayuda nation, ang ayuda, mga kababayan, ay stopgap measure. Binibigay lamang yan pag ang isang lugar, ang isang rehiyon, ang isang probinsya ay tinamaan ng kalamidad. Maaring dulot ng baha, maaring may bulkang pumutok, maaring may mga kawanang sakuna, nagbibigay ng ayuda ang pamahalaan. So that it is intended for some societal benefits. Pero hindi ito magiging sustainable kung gagawin ito political tool. It is not now to gain societal benefits. Transform na nila ang ayuda into a political tool. To convert non-believers to believers. To convert non-voters into their voters. And yet, galing po sa pera nating mga Pilipino. Take for example, ito'y kakatapos lamang, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. 1.2 billion pesos ang ibinuhos sa Davao City in the form of ayuda. Ibinibidang 250,000 residents of Davao ang binigyan ng ayuda. Bakit ko sinasabing misplaced public investment? Meron bang nagbigay ng ayuda nung tinamaan ang napakalaking bahagi ng Luzon ng Bagyong Karina? Naulit pa ito nung Bagyong Enteng. Meron bang namigay ng ayuda doon sa mga biktima ng Bagyong Enteng? So it's a misplaced public investment. Ayuda supposed to give societal benefit, but they have turned it into a political tool. for political repression, for political suppression, and to suppress the truth from the people, from you, from me, from all of us. And that is why we, in Akbang ng Maisog, are asking for transparency, accountability, peace, and security. Ang daming pera ang iginugugol sa maling investment. And let me just mention one of those mentioned by Architect Valyao. Binibida nila na tayo raw Pilipinas ay Taylor Swift ready by 2028. Taylor Swift ready. Gagawa ng malaking stadium na kayang i-host si Taylor Swift sakaling siya'y mag-isip na bumisita sa ating bansa. This is a misplaced public investment. While you may be aspiring to be Taylor Swift ready, you never aspire to be flood-free ready. Taylor Swift ready. For one night, two nights, sabihin mo ng 7 gabi na konsyerto, masaya ang Pilipino, may turista, domestic and foreign tourists. Pag alis niya, white elephant na, yung stadium na yan. Magagamit lang yan, evacuation center sa panahon ng kalamidad. And yet, patuloy pa rin tayong binabaha every time bisitahin tayo ng malakas na ulan o ihabagat. Never mind the bagyo. Sigurado yan. Pag may bagyong malakas, sabi nga nila, automatic yan, babahain tayo lahat. Look at their priority. Pangarap nila maging Taylor Swift ready ang Pilipinas by 2028, pero hindi nila pinangarap na maging flood-free at least ang Kalakhang Maynila o malaking bahagi ng mga binabahang lugar by 2028. And yet, they spent already 500 billion pesos in 2 years alone for flood control projects na hindi naman nila maituro at ma-identify kung nasa saan. Yan ang hinihingi natin ng pananagutan, yan ang hinihingi natin ng accountability. Our national debt has risen to 15.69 trillion pesos end of June 2024, or end of July 2024. When we assumed office in Malacanang, I was still part of this administration during its formative phase. Nasa 12-point-something trillion pesos ang ating national debt, ang utang ng national government. Ngayon, 2 years into office, ang utang na ng national government ay 15.69 trillion as of end July 2024. 2 taon pa lamang, halos 4 trillion pesos na ang inuutang ng gobyerno. Saan napupunta ang pera ng mamamayang Pilipino? Hindi po ninyo pwedeng palagpasin ito dahil tayo rin ho ang nagbabayad nito. Just in case you do not know, we pay our debts, both foreign and domestically sourced debts, through our taxes. And what is frightening now is sometime in August, no less than the chief executive of the land admitted that he himself is frightened because the debt to GDP ratio is 63%. Ano po ang significance nun? According to the acceptable global standard, dapat ang threshold is 60% lang. Ang sovereign debt ng isang developing country like the Philippines. Our situation, our sovereign debt is 3% elevated from the accepted global standard for the sovereign debt of a developing country. Pag ito ay patuloy na tumaas, we will suffer and experience downgrading ng ating credit rating. Pag bumabaho yung ating credit rating, tataas po yung cost of borrowing. And so on and so forth. Devalue ang piso, lalong lilit ang halaga nito. At parang magdadaos-daos na po ang magiging problema natin sa pananalapi at ganoon din sa inflation. So makikita natin dito, ang problema patuloy pa rin, corruption and inflation. Mali yung public investments na ginagawa ng pamahalaan. For 2025, kung kayo po ay nagulantang na 5.7 trillion pesos ang budget natin for 2024, kalahati po dito, by the way, is utang. Inutang din natin, foreign source of domestic source loan. Just the same, isa lang ibig sabihin ng utang po doon. Babayaran din po natin. For 2025, ang proposed budget ng gobyerno ay 6.3 trillion pesos. 6.3 trillion pesos. And immediately, sinabi na 500 billion pesos dito, hindi tumula, ay isinantabi na para na naman sa ayuda. Para na naman sa ayuda na hindi mo rin mismo ma-audit. Pinag-uusapan ng mainit ang audit diyan sa Kongreso. Paano mo i-audit yung 500 billion pesos? Eh, nagre-reklamo nga yung mga recipient. When they stand to receive 5,000 or 3,000, ang natatanggap na lang ng nakalaki. Binibiyak pa. Meron pang tompats, meron pang kahati. Mahirap na nga ang recipient ng ayuda, ginagawa mo pang miserable. Mahirap na nga yung recipient ng ayuda, tinatanggalan pa nila ng dignidad. Iyan ang bagong Pilipinas. It is important that I raise these matters to you because we always hear this government talk about economic growth. Let's stop fooling ourselves. Let's stop fooling our people. It is a fundamental principle in economics. When you talk about economic growth, you must outpace your debt. Hindi pwedeng mas malaki ang iyong pag-uutang kesa sa iyong economic growth. You have to outpace and you have to outgrow your debt. But as of now, mas malaki yung ating inuutang kesa dito sa ating tax collection. There are ways na makapag-likod at makapag-raise ng panibagong pondo. And that is through the introduction of new tax scheme. Ayaw naman nila. Bakit? Going into an election year, that is very unpopular. Maaari mo rin itaas ang existing taxes na pinaiiral ng gobyerno. Hindi rin nila gagawin yan. Why? Because that is also very, very unpopular leading into an election year. So anong gagawin nila? Meron bang viable economic activity ang bansa? Wala rin. Bakit? Dahil na rin yung gobyerno mismo ang nagsasabi na tayo ay malapit na sa bingit ng digmaan laban sa China. Sinong matinong foreign investor, sinong matinong mga kalakal ang magdadala ng kanyang hard-earned money sa isang bansang katulad ng Pilipinas na nasa bingit na ng digmaan laban sa kanyang superpower na kapitbahay na ang pangalan ng China. Now, since hindi sila handa at ayaw nila na magtaas ng mga buwis o dili kaya ay to introduce new taxes and there is an absence of economic viable activity, what do? We rely on our mga bagong bayani, yung OFW. But if not,